Previously I've created a video called Zwift. 3 different FTP tests, which is best. If you haven't seen it, do check it out. But basically, I compare Zwift's ramp test, its 20-minute test, and also a 1-hour test where I rode as hard as I could on the Tempest Fugic flat course for exactly 60 minutes. And in that latter 1-hour test, my average power was 271 watts. Now I do like an experiment, and as a result I want to find out whether my real world power outdoors is equivalent to my virtual power on the Watt bike and Zwift. And if you like the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed but you're thinking about doing so, I'd be super grateful if you would. And do remember also to hit that bell, because it'll notify you when a new video drops and also when I'm about to live stream. So I decided to do a proper comparison and come up here to the London Lee Valley VELO circuit in order to undertake a 1-hour FTP outdoors. So the circuit, as you'll see, is about 1.6 kilometers in length, and it's beautiful undulating terrain with some hairpins and lots of bends and turns, and it's quite a lovely challenging track in order to ride over an hour, and therefore the hour goes by a hell of a lot quicker than indoors. It's much less boring. So, to the distance and power and all that kind of stuff. Overall, I completed 35 kilometers, climbing 550 meters. Average power was 263 watts. Normalized power was 273 watts. And that compares to my last 1-hour indoor FTP test on the Atom, where my average power was 272 watts. So really, there's no difference whatsoever, and in all honesty, that's quite a relief. And I do think it's fair to compare the normalised power outdoors with the average power indoors, because obviously, with all the undulations and turns, you are getting on and off the power quite a lot more on each lap out here. Well, it's that time of year where we're all looking to shed a few pounds of body weight, and in particular body fat, to get us ready for the summer, maybe for different cycling events, sportifs, races, that kind of thing, or simply our summer holidays. And I've got here a strength training program that I hope will prove very complementary to the cycling and do exactly that, i.e. shed some body fat. It's called 6, 12, 25. And the basic premise is you have one big giant set of 3 different exercises. The first exercise, you work with heavier weights for 6 reps, you then have 10 seconds rest, and you undertake the second exercise where you work with moderate rates for 12 reps, and then you have another 10 seconds rest before you work the final lighter weight for 25 reps. Now the idea being that it creates a lot of lactic acid through the body, and that lactic acid in turn stimulates growth hormone, which is also very helpful for preserving and growing muscle, but also reducing body fat. And in conjunction with the adrenaline and cortisol, it's going to be super helpful for dropping body fat and not muscle, therefore. So quite good for those looking to focus on athletic performance. Now I've adapted this program slightly to be more relevant to cyclists, because a typical program would see you doing like just chest movements, arm movements and leg movements. But if you were to do just the leg movements, it would create a hell of a lot of muscle soreness through the thighs and hamstrings and glutes. and in reality that would hamper your cycling. So now for 6, 12, 25 on the front of the upper torso, focusing on the chest here. And the idea being of this strength training session is to put a lot of the exercises really on the upper torso in order to avoid fatiguing the legs. So here we'll be doing 6 reps with the bench press, followed by 12 with the body weight dip, and then a final set of 25 with a dumbbell fly. Now, for the dumbbell fly, the focus is very much on the mind-muscle connection. So you'll see that my grip is like that, and I have a very slight bend, only a very slight bend at the elbow, because I really want to initiate the movement with the pec muscles and feel like I'm kind of almost hugging a tree or a bear or something like that, people say. And the idea being that over those 25 reps, I'm really squeezing these pec muscles hard, including a really big contraction at the top, really to generate a lot of lactic acid. Again, got a great pump through the chest and also through the tricep muscle. Again, looking for 2 to 3 minutes rest before a second set. Now, always err to the side of the caution the first time you do these, and don't get too heavy on the first set, because you'll find that you're quite heavily fatigued by the time you get to the second set, the second giant set that is. And so it's better to start with slightly lower weights than you think you can do than heavy weights. Now, as an alternative to working the chest and triceps for a second giant set of 6, 12, 25, you could indeed do what I'm about to do here and work the shoulders and triceps instead. So I'm going to do 6 reps on a seated rotating dumbbell press, 12 reps of dumbbell lateral raise, and 25 reps of cable face pull. And so that's working all 3 muscle groups within each of the shoulder complexes. So here we go. Again, a great pump through the shoulders. Nearly put too much weight on the cable face pulls, only just completed the 25 reps. But again, you can feel the growth hormones surging around. Now, again, you could do a second set of that after 2 or 3 minutes of rest, or what I'm going to do, work the arm muscles. So today I'm rounding off proceedings with pronated dumbbell curls to work the biceps. Then to the cable machine, I'm going to do a set of 12 reps of reverse grip cable press down to really work the triceps. And then I'm going to finish with hammer curls to work the forearms. And the hammer curls have a grip like that. So here we go. First with a set of 6 with the dumbbells. Reverse grip cable press down. See the grip here. Really focusing on squeezing the triceps at the bottom. Keeping the elbows locked in. The first 10-12 reps should feel quite easy. I could have probably gone a kilogram heavier rather than using the 5s, maybe the 6s on those hammer curls, but as I say, always better to undershoot a little bit. Now I see on social media that some people are concerned that by adding strength training into their program it's going to adversely impact on the cycling. Now I personally believe that strength training can be very much accretive to the cycling performance, but there's a few caveats to that. If you're training the lower body, in particular legs, my preference is to keep the reps low, the weight slightly higher, but maintain very good form and not be training to failure, and don't be over fatiguing the muscles. And then if you're moving to kind of higher rep sets, just like as we did just there on a 6, 12, 25, really you'll see that I emphasized the upper torso because I'm looking to avoid creating too much fatigue in the muscles that could impact, for instance, my full gas winter circuit crit race tomorrow. So hopefully, you know, you can work this into your program without too much stress. The Cat 4 race today, 45 minutes, felt really good. I was leading quite a number of laps, and you know, right up until the final 5 I was in the top 3 and leading a couple of the final 5 laps. Probably blew myself up a bit too much towards the end. And then on the very final lap when everyone exploded, I had a bit too much ground to make up, but I was making up the ground, especially on the hill around the back there. But as I was coming up the final leg of the hill, the guy in front of me, Paul, stalled, and I had to basically either hit his wheel or swerve onto the grass. So obviously I swerved onto the grass. So placing dead last.
Go on, Pete! Woo!